Egypt is a mysterious place. No matter how much archaeologists find, the place had much more to surprise them with the next discovery. Pharaohs, pyramids, and mummies are just some mysterious things in Egypt. There is much more to be excavated. Nothing can fully explain the mystery of ancient Egypt, whether it's the treasure or the mummified bodies. Are you curious to find what is discovered now? Hello and welcome back to the Abandoned Archaeologist again, the channel to learn all about ancient archaeological findings. Today we will talk about some of Egypt's mysterious and terrifying discoveries that left archaeologists speechless. From giant mystery boxes to ancient shipwrecks, we have covered it all. But before we begin, to get your attention, we have a question you can answer at the end of the video by watching it. If you consider yourself involved in archaeological discoveries of Egypt a lot, then here is the question. How many pyramids are there in Egypt? Write down your answer in the comment section and see if you got it right. Here we begin with our video. Shipwreck loaded with treasures. A shipwreck containing ancient Greek treasures from Egypt's Ptolemaic era was discovered in the waters of Alexandria. The shipwreck is located in the Bay of Abu Qir, in the hollow, lost ancient city of Heraklion, or Thonis, near Alexandria, and dates from the waning days of the Pharaohs, when the Greek civilization enjoyed great influence in Egypt. According to experts, the ship sank after being hit by massive blocks from the Temple of Amun, which was completely destroyed during the cataclysmic event that occurred in the 2nd century BC. When the disaster occurred, the ship was moored at a pier in the canal that ran along the south face of the temple. Unfortunately, the fallen blocks pinned the ancient Greek shipwreck to the bottom of the deep canal, which was then filled with clay and sanctuary debris. As a result, the shipwreck is buried beneath 5 meters or 15 feet of hard clay and the temple's ruins. Valley of Golden Mummies. In 1996, an incredible discovery was made in Egypt. Archaeologists discovered a 2-square-mile necropolis with several important tombs. During the first excavation, 4 of the tombs were discovered to contain 105 well-preserved mummies, many of which had elaborated golden masks. Thus, the cemetery became known as the Valley of the Golden Mummies. However, the initial discovery was thought to be just the tip of the iceberg, as up to 10,000 mummies are thought to be buried in the cemetery. Abdul Magood, a guard, was chasing a donkey when the donkey's leg fell through a hole in the ground. Magood saw gold glittering in the distance as he peered through the hole. Dr. Zahi's team discovered 105 mummies dating back to 332 BC in 4 tombs. Each of the 105 mummies belonged to one of 4 groups: mummies covered in cartilage, mummies inside anthropoid coffins, and mummies wrapped in linen. The gilded mummies would have belonged to the area's wealthiest residents, most likely merchants and their families. This is demonstrated by their mummies adorned with gilded masks and chest plates, which most people could not afford. The second type of mummy was discovered wrapped in linen and covered in painted cartilage on the head and upper body. They had painted eyes that were so realistic that they scared some of the excavators. The third type of mummy was discovered in an anthropoid coffin, a pottery coffin decorated with a human face. Finally, some linen-wrapped mummies were poorly wrapped in comparison to the others. These were most likely members of society's lower classes. In some cases, families were discovered, interred together, including mothers, fathers, and children. One female mummy was buried with her head turned affectionately towards a male mummy, most likely her husband. Masks and gilding were very elaborate, with religious drawings and depictions in addition to detailed faces. The team also discovered pottery, bracelets, earrings, and coins, in addition to the mummies. Silver, copper, bronze, faience, and ivory were used to make the jewelry. There were clay figurines of women as mothers, most likely representing fertility. There were also statues of mourners placed to weep for the deceased for all eternity. 100-ton stone boxes. The Serapeum of Saqqara has been a mind-boggling location full of mystery since its discovery in 1850. This magnificent ancient labyrinth contains 25 megalithic stone boxes weighing 70 to 100 tons. The existence of these massive blocks of stone is the ultimate proof that the builders of these incredible boxes had incredible knowledge in fields such as geometry and mathematics, as well as the necessary technology to shape, cut, transport, and place massive blocks of stone into position. Some believe the massive boxes were used as bull burial chambers. In contrast, others, such as author and explorer Brian Forster, believe the truth behind the Serapeum is far more fascinating and has nothing to do with alleged bull burial chambers. When the Serapeum of Saqqara was discovered, some of the massive boxes were blown open with gunpowder, only to find the insides of these massive boxes empty. Researchers have yet to learn their true purpose when these massive boxes were built thousands of years ago. Interestingly, most of these boxes are made of rose granite, an extremely hard rock mined at a quarry about 800 kilometers from Saqqara. In contrast, others are made of diorite, an even stronger material found further away. The Screaming Mummy. The Screaming Woman Mummy is a mummy with signs of pain, terror, and screaming on her face. Her head is tilted to the right, and her legs are bent and wrapped at the ankle, whereas the other mummies are closed-mouthed and upright. After studies, the woman's screaming mummy is referred to as the royal daughter, the royal sister Meridiman, in hieratic writings on linen scrolls. The CT scan results indicate that the screaming mummy is of a lady who died in her 60s and that her body received incredible care from the mummifiers who got rid of her viscera and inserted expensive materials like resin in her body cavity, wrapping the mummy in pure linen. The unknown lady's mummy was infected with extreme atherosclerosis, which affected various arteries throughout the body. Atherosclerosis is a degenerative disease affecting the arterial wall progressively, narrowing the cavity and blocking the blood vessel. A CT scan can detect arterial sclerosis as areas of high calcification within the arterial walls, identified based on the location of the artery. The study assumes that the unknown woman's mummy coronary vascular thrombosis caused damage to the heart muscle, resulting in her sudden death. Moreover, the study assumes that the princess died due to a heart attack. Death caused the head to tilt slightly to the right, and the jaw muscles relaxed, allowing the mouth to open. Mummified sacred beetles and cats in ancient Egyptian tombs. Scarab beetle mummies were among the grave goods discovered in the 5th dynasty necropolis of Saqqara in ancient Egypt. The excavators also claimed to have discovered a pristine tomb from around 4,500 years ago that had remained undetected and untouched by grave robbers for thousands of years. The tomb dates from the 5th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. It is unusual because the facade and door are still intact, implying that its contents may still be untouched. Scarabs can be found on all continents except Antarctica, and stone beetles have been crawling all over the Middle East for millennia. Many have been discovered in Israel, including the biblical cities of Gezer and Shimron. Finding carefully preserved beetle corpses from 4,500 years ago, on the other hand, is an entirely different story. Mummified beetles, crocodiles, cats, and other sacred animals were discovered in 7 tombs over the last 6 months on the outskirts of the King Userkaf Pyramid Complex at the necropolis of Saqqara, south of Cairo. Several cat mummies and gilded statues of cats were also discovered in the Saqqara tomb, as well as a bronze statue dedicated to the cat goddess Bastet and crocodile sarcophagi. In addition, there were painted wooden cobra, a collection of gilded statues depicting animal features, and objects such as amulets, canopic jars, writing tools, and papyri baskets. So this is all about the discoveries in Egypt that left people speechless. And the answer to the question we asked was, a total of 138 pyramids survive in Egypt, varying in size, location, layout, and purpose. Share your views in the comments below and subscribe for more.